Apologize, I was wrong.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. And welcome to another edition of the Senate. I am your host, Neil Hoyt, joined by your other host, Derek Marshall. Um, Derek, where to start? Oh, you know what to do. G Syndicate was playing in the background while people waited and congregated. So just let everybody know, as usual, plug your stuff, let everybody know how,
Yeah,
where to
man.
find you.
As always, you can find us on gsyndicate6.com and then on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, everything. G Syndicate 6. Find all the new music there, all the news. There's not much news going on, COVID and all that, but there's still stuff going on, so you can look out for any information, any new happenings. I don't want to say new news, but any new happenings you'll find on those platforms. Mark does a great job of keeping you entertained with whether it be throwback videos or pics or whatever like that. Given the fact that COVID,
Mm.
still trying to do our best to keep content coming, whether that content is new content or some content from before that we are now getting the opportunity to share with you. So check us out on everything G Syndicate 6.
All right, good stuff. How you doing, my brother? I mean, last time we spoke, well, the last time we were obviously checking in on each other, behind the scenes. But I mean, just update the people how you've been since Tuesday night.
Since Tuesday night, I've been all right, been pretty good. Still trying to get my workout on this evening. The workout was a little bothered, a little disturbed. Some of the rumblings from the post today had me a little offset. I won't lie about that, but generally speaking, it got me in the frame of mind, got my brain turning over for tonight's show. But generally speaking, I'm in good health. The daughter's great, so I'm great. So got life. I always good. You know what I mean? What about you? Talk to me. How's
my, my
everything
ma-
going?
my mantra is once you got life, that's half the battle there. Once you wake up, open your eyes, and you take a breath, that's half the battle done and ready for the day.
Yeah, man.
Um, I am actually doing really well. I've been doing my therapy sessions and um, did my therapy sessions yesterday. Today, I woke up and I actually did not feel anxious for the first time in a very long time. So
Good,
I am
good, good.
really blessed and thankful for that. And I'm gaining more clarity when it comes to certain things in my life. So I'm grateful, man. In terms of, we can get to what has been bothering you and what really got to you in the workouts because it is even funny how I approach that. Normally, that would be something that would have bothered me too, but I have come to a realization that you know we have said and committed to having a space of complete transparency and honesty and welcoming all opinions and situations in this space. Because while yes, we are two men speaking from the perspective of men, um, we mostly speak about relationships and how we see it and how we want people to be the best version of you, as you say every week or every episode, and how we want people to be the best versions of themselves in relationships as two men that have not necessarily been the best versions of themselves in relationship. So me personally, I am fine. My son is fine. But let me get to it. Now, first, we are continuing the discussion of hypergamy from Tuesday's episode. Particularly now, we are speaking about when hypergamy goes a little awry. Now, today, you would have posted something, and I know you wanted to implement that into the show. You wanted me to pull up, but for some reason, that website that you gave me the whatever, their cookies were not allowing me, the ad blocker and all sorts of foolishness wasn't allowing me. So I didn't have enough time to fix. Basically, what we're talking about today is essentially when your partner, I mean, we posted something on Facebook, but I can just give the overview. Your partner essentially has leveled up themselves or feel as though you do not provide or have stagnated in the things you provided for them. Their wants and needs may have changed, or they may have taken their eye off of the things you require to feel safe and secure within a relationship. So we are talking about when you want to move away from a hypergamous situation, or someone that you thought was hypergamous. Now I can kick it over to you and let you read your Facebook post today, and this will give you your space to speak on some of the, I guess, tension or issues you would have had with certain things that went on in the comments or what have you.
All right. Okay. The actually, now this is when stuff kind of goes, and that your intentions, the results were not what you intended, or you kind of got more than you bargained for. Because I made the post, but with the intentions of addressing it, not really addressing the post itself, but kind
Yeah.
of to introduce the idea of what we're looking at tonight. Um, so the post was, how do I tell my husband that he's no longer good enough for me? It says, I got fit, I got promoted. There are dozens of men at my work that are better looking, drive better cars, stay in larger homes, that have manifested interest in me. I decided I deserve more and better. That was the
Mm-hmm.
post.
Right.
Now, the post was, again, as I said, just to kind of put the idea of the kind of thing we'd be looking at. Some people took it very, very literally and decided, um, or were of the belief that the whole conversation was already skewed, biased, whatever you want to call it. And that's fine. I will take that um, criticism for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I found it interesting because people held on to this post, and they held on to the post from uh, Monday. The post with Lionel Richie and Halle Berry, people held on to that,
Right.
and they used those as the examples of our discussions being skewed, being biased, gender biased towards men or whatever. One of the first comments was, this situation makes the woman look bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to, because again, I didn't post it with that intention, so I was like, wait, what? So I had to back up a little bit, and then I got it.
Actually, trying not to be incendiary.
Yeah, I really wasn't trying to be. But then somebody faithful in the comment section, they came and they said it to me either publicly or privately that they felt like if it was being skewed, and I appreciate them for that. The
Mm-hmm.
ones
Mm-hmm.
who said it privately, I will keep that private.
Right.
But ones like Tanya Seeley and Dion in particular, they both expressed their feeling that it was skewed, it was biased or whatever. So with that, I will accept that criticism, and I will offer my apologies to anybody who may have been offended, particularly females, um, within the chat. But I will say here, um, welcome to the world of men. In that, for a long, long time, the conversations have been skewed against men. You know what I mean? And I really want to. I wonder if that post I read that I don't think my wife is good enough for me anymore, what the comment section would have looked like. If I
Mm-hmm.
said, hey, I went in the gym, I worked on my body, I got promotion at work, making some more money, I cleaned myself up, and I didn't figure my wife was good enough for me anymore. So I decided to leave the relationship. If that had been the post, I wonder what the response to that would have been. And the reality is, across, and this is on public television, you got Derail, you got The View, you got Wendy Williams, a
Steve
whole
Harvey.
Steve Harvey, a whole host of programming which is geared toward women, right? Nobody says anything about it, right? You got Oprah, Dr. Phil. Name any programming that is not sports geared towards men and talking about relationships and stuff like that. There's none, right? So
On television. No.
Not on television, not on television, right? And certainly not mainstream television, right? And so we made two posts. Sorry, I'll absolve Neil of any responsibility here.
Will
I
be this
I
again.
made two posts this week.
Yes, you made the post, but I want it to be clear that you put out something, and whether I want to acknowledge it or not, it is for the purpose of this dialogue.
Right.
Therefore, I cannot be absolved from it because, I could easily have seen a problem and said, there, I see a problem with this. You may have to tailor that or whatever. But
Okay.
yeah,
Granted. Ironically, he did say to me before he made a post about tonight, he did say, don't start nothing. I was like,
that's the thing. The thing is, I
right?
didn't know you were going to post what you post. I just said,
I
I
didn't intend to
asked you,
post
do you
anything,
want
to
to?
be fair. I didn't intend to post
Exactly.
anything. But then
That
you
is a
said,
fact.
all right.
Maybe you should, yeah. And then
But
and
that
then the thing
aside,
is, and he was like, you gave me the you gave me a gift for the Malik, and I was like, look, you know what? Don't just don't start shit. And honestly, I'll be honest to say, I can let you finish, but I was honest to say when I read it and people were starting to comment about it being biased and sexist and stuff like that, I was like, I don't see it because when I read it, I processed it from the standpoint of this is what people do. Because I know many situations where the man had a woman, like we look at Shaq. Shaq had a wife bear all of his children, and Shaq essentially ran around, cheated, did his dirt and whatever. And he has essentially, I don't know if you want to say upgraded, downgraded, or whatever, but he has essentially found someone else to live with and to build a life with. And I'm saying that, when I read it from the standpoint of it being, okay, this is just to get the conversation going. Because that meme was not something you created. That was something that was already in
yeah,
the internet,
yeah.
that was out there
Something that's
already.
floating
And
around.
I remember asking you, because you wanted to lead with that. And they say, you know what? I still would like something a bit more concrete because at the end of the day, still there's no source to that,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Right. So go ahead.
Yeah. So this is where we are. And in the interest of full disclosure, transparency, whatever, as always, we are going to look at it from both sides, right? We are going to look at it from both sides. And I don't want it to be said that, we being sexist, because that seems to be the word that's being thrown at me often these days. Because I got it again today. Um, yeah, so I don't want to be said that we here at the Senate are sexist, but what we are is honest, right? And I find doing this podcast has definitely opened me up to really seeing people, both men and women, and how we process certain things and how we want to say that we are above certain things, we are evolved above certain things, yet and still we really aren't, because given if the price is right, we are for sale, right? But that aside, let me get into some hypergamy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hypergamy is the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of a superior sociological or educational background. And that is defined by the almighty Wikipedia. The action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person or of a superior sociological or educational background.
Mm-hmm.
A person. So we're looking male, right? And because it's been said that, oh, I might run some people and people might get offended if it is that if we go down a certain way, a certain line, we will start with the nice comfortable line before we start to get a little bit uncomfortable. So if we start comfortably and the numbers spike, I see 14 people here in the chat right now watching. That's what it is, Neil. Um,
Yeah, for
right, so we can start there. And if the numbers should jump and spike and go up by 30 or 40 or 50. When we start to get uncomfortable, those numbers fall away precipitously back to 14 and 10. It would kind of prove the point of what we are addressing here and why it needs to be addressed, right? So I can share a story to kick it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this guy, and I am going to save the names to protect the reputations of everybody involved, right? This guy, he's with a girl, and this is a local story, by the way. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
He's with this girl. She is down for him like 4 flat tires, and she's making sure that he's lining up his money and stuff like that. He go banking in order and stuff. He didn't have a car, so she hooked him up. She would allow him to drive her car. You know, everything was cool, and I swear this is a legit, genuine story. Right? You actually know the people involved, but we can carry on.
Right.
Um, right? So everything is going along well, things working out. She putting my man in order, which is cool. My mom meets another chick. This other chick now, she's not sorting him out on that level in terms of, you know, organizing his finances and making sure they're in order, but she's more giving him stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So hold a couple $100 here, or let me take a plane trip here, you know, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. And that's how it goes. So my man decides, you know what? This is the bigger, better deal. Deuces. And you think the way about it was like, yeah, he found somebody better. And Savage, I just roll. And that girl was in shambles. You know what I mean? Like legit shambles.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she's recovered since, and that's been a while, you know. Extremely good looking girl. Extremely good looking girl, but she
Very,
lost out.
very
She lost
intelligent.
out. Very, yeah, intelligent girl, but she lost out because of this phenomenon called hypergamy, right? So the question tonight to you, my brother, and to those in the chat: what are the implications for us as men and women when we deal with hypergamy? How do we process it? Should we expect it? How do we handle it? Yeah, let me just leave those questions up there for you and to those in the chat. How do we deal with hypergamy? How do we handle it?
All right. Well, first, let me read Nikki Nix. Thanks for joining us tonight. The truth is, it can and does go either way. Mama Romel, hello. What's going on, brother? He's saying preach. All right. So, what are the implications for hypergamy now? Based on what you said and based on the definition of hypergamy, right? You essentially looking for some, and you know what I find. I know I cross it myself, but what I find exceedingly funny is that some of the people commenting on your posts on Facebook, they don't come to the podcast to actually glean what we have said. No, what we have said before in the requirements for a relationship, how to move in a relationship through social media, um, you know, infidelity, all these things have been building up and will continue to build up because they're all interwoven and interconnected. For example, hypergamy goes back to the requirements, the relationship requirements that we said before in a previous episode, where you are looking for someone to create a space with that makes you feel safe in certain areas and secure in certain areas, whether it be
Those areas
financial,
are important to you.
yes, whether it be sexually, whether it be financially, whether it be emotionally, whether it be domestically, all the leads, I do like to put it,
All the
right?
leads.
So now, what does that look like? Okay, so for me, if I meet someone and I get along with this person and this person checks some of my boxes, because you're rarely going to find that one person that checks all your boxes, that look the way you want them to look, and you know speaks the way you want to speak, and like it don't work like that, right? Very rarely does life work like that. That the stars align and you get your dream woman or man, right? But for me, If I meet someone and they check certain boxes and I have committed to them, I have committed to them, right? No, if down the line, um, I realize that this person is either A, not checking the boxes that I thought were more important, that's on me. Two, are going away from the boxes they checked before. Or three, I have come to realize that the way someone does something is more applicable to me. Now, what do I do? I have a conversation with my partner. I say, partner, here we're going on. We committed. We have a space. I want to utilize the space. Hi, Tonya, how you doing? I want to utilize the space, and I want to ask you, why aren't you fulfilling the things that we have said I needed to feel safe? Am I doing that for you, etc.? And consider or suggest ways and means that they can do certain things too, right? Because I feel like I owe it to that commitment and to that person to not leave them high and dry in the commitment, right? Now, I see it as people get triggered. People got triggered by what you posted on Facebook because as you know what the person said, the person didn't speak to why their husband or why their partner did not level up or reach the same heights or levels. The way it was portrayed was that the person did all of these things for themselves and one day just up and decide, you know what, I'm in a different space, I'm kicking this person to the curb. Other thing to speak to if she talked to the man, if the man was doing things on his own, what their relationship was like. So, with that said, the implications are you have to feel safe, whether man or woman in your relationship, for the things you require. And those conversations need to be had early on within the relationship. Yeah. You need to have those unsexy conversations when you realize that you and this person are building toward something. Wait, hold on, Dion. There's also a fourth growth. If you are someone who got married or got together with someone really young, the requirements you thought you needed may not be what you think you need now. Agreed? That's why I think that certain things like marriage you should not do until you are closer to 30 or a little past 30. Because I see people, I know people that have gotten married at 23, 24, 22.
Hey,
You understand? Well, then,
hey.
listen, when you're at 22, right, you know, come out. And you know what life about. You nor the
Facts.
partner, if the partner is your age, don't know what life about. And the fact is, the severe fact is you may have an idea of what commitment is, but you know, may not have the idea of what really needs to go in to make that commitment work. You don't understand what you require in terms of financially, in terms of emotional support, because you're now trying to figure out yourself with all of those things. So, in my opinion, if you want to get married, and I can tell my son this, I sure you will tell your daughter this. If my son bring home a woman and say, Daddy, does he want? And he's like 17, 18, 19, 20, I can say, son, that's fine, but at a time, pump your brakes, get your money up, get your education, build with this person. There's nothing wrong with getting married at 32, having been together with somebody for 10 years. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because the same piece of paper and the same love and commitment can mean the same as it did when you were 20. So that's that. And the only agree growth. So, and that brings me back to what I was saying in terms of growth, because shoot, depending on where you are in your life, whether it be financially, spiritually, all these, will life is about growth. As I told you all on Tuesday, when I can start learning, I ever feel any subject matter that I know at all, and I'm always open to learning or correcting a previously held opinion. Right, wait, Tony, I'm really glad to see you. Thanks for joining. Um, but yeah, you grow, you constantly learning, and you're constantly growing. You constantly get new experiences, or you should get new experiences. You should continue learning. Now, having said that, you and your partner, that's why in a previous episode I was saying your license should be renewed, your marriage license should be
Yeah.
renewed just like your driver's license and your bicycle license and all the other licenses, because every year you change. You get promotions, you have children, promotion affects and increased productivity affects men and women differently. Having children affect men and women differently. Getting older and aging affects men differently. So as you age from year to year, you change. Therefore, there's nothing wrong in going to counseling where everything is right. Go to couples
True.
counseling and talk and say, look, this we on the same page, because you all too many times people realize they're not on the same page because time has passed, years have passed. They're not on the same page no more. So, having said that, hypergamy comes in there in that you are constantly observing what you need to feel safe and what your needs are when you change. Because let's be honest, when you're 25, you can need financial security from your partner, man or woman. But when you are 40 or 50, you may not need that financial security from your partner because you would have built your money, you would have built your success, you would have done your things to get your money up, either man or woman. And when a partner comes and is not in your social economic background, but they provide for you emotionally, they provide for you in terms of security and safety, in terms of domestically, in terms of sexually, but they don't provide for you financially. Yes, they could pay for a dinner here and there and whatever, but ain't like they could fly you to Dubai. You could fly yourself to Dubai. There's nothing wrong in 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 saying that your hypergamous needs change and your relationship requirements change over time. So I have no problem. I don't know the full story of what that person said, what that woman said, in terms of the thing you posted on Facebook. But I will say this. I will say that if she has gotten to a place where she has, because she has significantly upgraded herself. She kept fit. She upgraded her finances and her career standing, right? She may have gotten some education in there as well. She has improved herself in all facets, and she is realizing a different quality of man is looking at her, right? If she looks at her husband and said, my mother and I had an argument, a debate a few weeks back where we were talking about love. And she asked me, because I was telling her as a man, once I committed, I committed. Once I say we are building a life together, we are doing that. And we will work it out within the context as best as we could do so far, right? And she said, so suppose you get with a woman and you committed to her and you dedicated to her, but she stopped going out, she stopped having sex, she stopped cleaning up the house, she stopped wanting to be touched. All she want to do is stop inside, eat, get fat, and do nothing. I use a mother because she knows, my mother obviously knows me. She knows I like to be active. She knows I like to go out. She knows that I like to travel. She knows that I like to do certain things, right? What if I had a woman that when we first started out, she was all about these things with me and we were on the same page and I felt safe and secure within all the things that I like. And I thought I provided that for her. But over time, through whatever means, she decides, well, I'm content to just sit on the couch, eat, and watch Grey's Anatomy. I said to my mother, what I would do is I would encourage her to seek therapy and get to the root of it, to seek counseling. I've done that before as a partner, and I suggested counseling. And I was told,
How did that go? How was that taken?
I brought money. That this day, I'm still trying to process that. Let me put it like that. Like before, things were going things were going differently and I said, look, I have no problem in going to couples therapy. I have no problem in going to individual therapy, and I have no problem paying for this therapy, right? Would you be open to that? No, I don't have time. I ain't got the money for that, this, that, the next, the third. That to get you back to a space where you meet my requirements and my needs, or I try to figure out desire to do these requirements have shifted, or if I have not fulfilled something for you and it has shifted, I am willing to get to the bottom of it. I ain't gonna just meet another woman on the street and say, all right, well, I find this chick, the last 10 years of marriage and children, F this shit, I'm out. Nah, right? So that is the point is that we don't know in that situation that you post what the man was doing and how the woman handled it. Everybody took it like the woman just up and leave. I didn't even take it like that because there's so many different variables you have to put in. For all we know, the man might be a handsome, trim, tall, active man, and the man start drinking with the fellas, the man start gaining weight, the man's only watch football, the man is work when he can instead of going out on date night with his woman. We don't know that situation. So what I am saying is the implications for hypergamy is a relationship is dog, and it is two people in the trenches. Two people. I know you and the fellas don't like me to talk about emotional vulnerability, right? But you you really vulnerable to get to the root of some of these issues whenever they pop up, existing issues within each other. Because if you don't have that, or you don't have the willingness to get to the root of certain emotional things, then maybe you don't want, are you trying to get into you and get back to where we were and to fix things, taking it upon yourself to go down the rabbit hole. You don't want help. It's hard work.
I'll tell you right, Neil. I was one that got married very early. I got married at 24, and I was young and I guess inexperienced, full of love, and figure that love is it. You know what I mean? Completely unaware of what I was getting into, what was required to really sustain a marriage. Because a wedding is one thing, a marriage, and my wife at the time, she was 2 years older than I am, so that put her at
Wait, your
26.
wife was older than you?
Yeah.
Your wife was older than you? Well, you know that?
I was a little older than most people, I guess, because they're bigger than them. It's a little bigger, older than
Honestly,
most people.
honestly, I guess she had a youthful look.
Yeah,
So okay,
yeah.
okay.
So hypergamy again, forming a marriage or a sexual relationship with somebody of a higher sociological or educational background, whatever. Um, that definition doesn't speak to wanting the best, right? And at 24 years old, that was something I could not process, right, and understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I remember at 20, I was working with an older lady. We were teaching in a class one, and she said to me in one or some of the downtime, she said, Marsha, anytime we get married again, I get married for money. Again, this love thing, love can't go in that super center. And they
Mm-hmm.
laughed because it was like, you know,
You all have been
you all are better, you know what I mean? But having lived life a bit more, kind of coming to a certain understanding, certain things, you realize it has to be more. For me, no, right? Having lived life, come up from 20, I want, and this is going to be controversial for the guys, right? This is going to be controversial. So, guys, hold on. I want my woman to be hypergamous. Why? If I know that I got to be a little uncomfortable because my girl got options, it keeps me on my toes. So, it encourages because I know my girl don't want to out of shape, man. I might be here at evening and I decide, you know what? I feel like working out, but it can give me a little push to get up and go and do something. I am not saying that you are supposed to work out for anybody else other than yourself, right? But if you in something and you know that that's part of the requirement to be in that relationship, it's like, all right, I can do a thing. Even if I would normally put in a 45 minutes, I can put in a half hour at least, right? I want my woman to be like, yeah, what going on? Make sure your money right. You know what I mean? I want my woman to want the best of stuff. I want my woman to expect me to provide the best of stuff. Right? Having said that, right? Having said that, ladies, I want you to understand when you have a man who works to put himself into a position where he can provide as best he can, right? To make sure he looks as best he can, understand that that man has options. You looking at him for a reason. You find him attractive for a reason. And
yes, sir.
by the same token, other women will find him attractive as well. So, guess what, ladies? You can't just turn up. You know, gotta
Yeah, you
compete.
can't just show up.
You
So
gotta compete.
I want to add to that, right? Because to even bring home your example, right? What you were saying is that I find a lot of women are doing this, where they're going on this line of, you are more than enough, queen. You don't have to settle. You deserve more, this and that. You have options. I've seen those posts too, right? So the same way women have options, women out there working hard, women out there dressing to the nine, women trying to get the money up, trying to get the business up, trying to get the education up. The same way you feel that you don't have to settle for substandard behaviors and half-ass
Trust and
efforts
believe.
at relationship, the same
Men
thing
don't
for
have to
us.
either, right?
We
Men
just
don't
ain't
have.
posting about it. We just are not posting about it. We ain't putting up the memes. We ain't taking thing on top of Go King.
Amen. Amen and amen. Because you don't
Continue.
see,
Options too.
because they say the squeaky wheelers get the oil, right?
Mm.
And men is squeaky. So we don't win the arguments because we don't keep the most noise, right?
We don't need the noise.
Understand and appreciate, ladies, and fellas too. If you're a partner, because if you're a girl in the gym busting her ass 3, 4, 5 days a week to make sure she look a certain way, and you
Yeah.
looking at her for because she look good, guess what, fellas? Other men out
Public.
there looking at you too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? Other men out there looking at you too. So you as a man, you gotta compete, right? You gotta compete for the women you want. So it's don't just say, man, when they're playing fair, when they're playing fair, I done with this game and you take it back and you go home. Or worse, that you take out the ball and go home. Because you know, the cricket, nothing can play without a ball. So you
Cricket
go
can't.
along.
Yeah.
You
Mm.
can play cricket with a piece of tree stump, but you certainly can't play with a
I play with a
ball.
ball. Can't play with
Although
no
I did
rocks, no.
see some children out of school tape out a line and play cricket at the line, but that's another story. That was in St. John. That was a wild time.
Ah.
Right? So understand, relationships are about competition. You have to be willing to compete for the affections of the person you are involved with or you hope to be involved with. You got to compete. You
but
cannot just decide, hey, I is who I is, take me as I come. And as the classic the ladies like to give you, if you can't take me at my worst, you can't get me at my best. Nah,
you
nah,
ain't
because
worth
guess what,
that.
ladies? A man can't tell you if you can't take me at my worst, you can't get me at my best. A man can't tell you that.
Fat. I
So
want to
let me be
add.
straight and let me be balanced.
Right. I want to add. Right. You say every week on this show be the best version of you. That is what makes it competitive. Because if I go to therapy, I don't hide that fact from nobody. I do therapy. Yeah. Well, you can't really get to the gym or anything. So, but normally I'm a very active person. I like hikes. I like playing basketball. I like going to the gym. I like being active. Yeah. I like to take care of my appearance. I like to look good. I got like nice little beady thing. I got my hair thing. I like. Oh, I got a little swag. Yeah.
God damn it.
Like, but let me tell you something. See, if you want to get with me, things like going to therapy. You're opposed to getting to the root of certain issues. You are opposed to being in an emotional space of vulnerability and support and security. If you are, well, Jannar, don't come in the chat talking. Good night, Jannar. Thanks for joining, but don't come with this our foolishness. Just anyhow, let me forget you. If you are not open to certain things to improve yourself, when I improve myself and I level up and level up and level up and level up and level up, and I get to a point where you vex with me with the amount of women that come around me, and you vex that so many women like in my IG posts, and
Miss me.
I am I am in competition with myself, and because I'm in competition with myself, I am pushing myself to be better. If you see improvements in me, you better try to be competing with yourself too, and improving yourself to catch me,
Correct.
because one thing I will not have is a woman that has high diabetes or heart problems or whatever that is not natural or you weren't born with. If you were born with these things, fine. But if you over time decide, hey, macaroni pie and gravy and beef stew whole day, right? And you get big like a house. And every day, I, babe, let me go to a hike. Let me go to the gym. Let me go for a walk. Yeah? And you like, nah, I about that life. And you getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You when I tell you one day, I try telling you to go to therapy. I try getting you to go to the gym. I try getting you to go to some activity that we could do together and individually. Yeah. I've tried so many different avenues, and you still decide to put on weight, get fat, and have these complications. And know we can't have a long lasting life together. At 55, I gotta be looking to worry about if you can catch, a stroke or something like that. And I'm working hard to make sure I eat right. How many women I hear, I don't eat vegetables, I don't drink water. And I just drink water and eat vegetables. You think I like vegetables? I had to
Should be
force
drinking
myself
water
when I was
though.
little to eat vegetables. And I just drink water. Yes, I like those who know me know that I like my sweet things. I like my gummy bears and that kind of thing. But you know what? For every gummy bear you see me eat, you ain't see the amount of water I drink. You ain't see the amount of vegetables I've eaten and fruit that I've eaten. So what I am saying is the same way I working on me to be the best version of me, to be the best version of us in a relationship, I expect that of you too. I
Correct.
expect to do the therapy. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I like that how you put it that way. You be the best version of you, and you bring the best of you to the relationship. So if I bring 100% and you bring 100%, we get 200%. From the time I start bringing 50%, relationship struggling, and
Go on.
you said chain only as good as its weakest link. So if we're supposed to be pulling together as a team, and you function at less than capacity, we can go a problem. Let me just dive in the chat a little bit. Philip Burke. Philip says, good night, everyone. Loving this discussion so far. Zoe Edie, so many variables. Again, getting into the root of the question, why? Neil, your audio was breaking up a little bit. Yeah, but we seem to have sorted that out a little bit.
Yeah.
Dion,
Yeah.
what I like this here, so Derek, I'm not sure what she's
No,
referring
she's
to.
talking about what you said about the competition and we have
Okay,
options.
okay. Tanya, this is fair, Derek. Ramel, bang, bang. Natalia can live with that, Derek. Dion makes perfect sense to me. Gennaro wants to know if you play basketball, Foxy.
As I tell wait, I want to
Yeah,
address him
address it.
because I am posting 3-on-3 videos in some obscure court in some backyard place in Barbados. I'm
Taking
mauling
advantage
and
of inferior
yeah, yeah,
competition.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That don't mean that you know about me. You know
Right.
my character too. Go ahead.
Zoe Edie's Amen Neil. Mark posts a red card. I'm not sure for exactly what. Natalia, that's right, Neil. If I try to better myself, you should be riding the same wave. Exactly. Tanya, I like that you are willing to help me. That is admirable. Of course, because you get into something with somebody and you always look for, well, at least me, let me speak for me. And I'm sure you do too, Neil, but I can speak for me. Um,
Mm.
you get in something with somebody, you want the best for that person. You want to see that person,
Yep.
you know, operate at maximum capacity. You want to see that person achieve the best that they can. And
Yep.
whether it is a case of making good business decisions, good banking decisions, or good financial decisions on the whole, or getting themselves right mentally, whether that is going to therapy, doing the emotional thing, or even it might be a case where you try to save this person from overwork. You never know. It could be something like that. Or whether it be a physical issue where you try to get that person in shape. I think you should always be working to get your partner to be the best version of themselves and get them to be the best version of themselves for themselves, not for you.
I wanted to
For
I
you.
wanted to I wanted to touch on that because remember what will get you to be the best version of you is not what can get me to be the best version of me.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
I
Because
you
you
ain't
don't
got the
want it to
same
be a case where you're doing it for me and then we fall through the chute and then you revert to bad practices or whatever. And
that's because I was the pillar. I was the
yeah, we
foundation.
don't want that. So you got to be the best version of you for you. Um,
You.
yeah, Zoe is saying got to left that out. Sorry, left out that. Natalia, it's true when you are grown, you realize relationships are 100%. from each party. That 50-50 thing is a bare joke. Yes, it is, Tali. You bring all of you, the best of you to us, and I should be doing the same. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen. Bring the best of you to the relationship, and everything good.
Everything will fall into place.
Everything will fall into place. You know what I mean? Um, with regard to the whole therapy thing, I realize it's we as black people we generally tend to shy away, and then as Caribbean people, we definitely try to shy away from the therapy thing because it's like, oh Lord, when you tell you going to the therapist, he mad, he got problems, you know that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that, but more of a case of you get to talk through some issues with somebody who is qualified, somebody who can help you when you talk through those things. Because you'd be surprised to see a lot of things we go through as people. If we could just find a sounding board, somebody to talk to,
And
somebody
not
you
echo
could,
your friends and your family.
yeah, and not getting in your own echo chamber and these people telling you what you want to hear and that kind of stuff. If you can just find some kind of sounding board, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing the therapy thing. Shoot, I had to do it. Shoot, I
Listen,
still have to do it. Um,
listen.
there's nothing wrong with that. Seek that out. And yeah, another thing, don't try to be a therapy for 5 years. You know what I mean? The therapy is just a vehicle to get you to a better place. You get to that place, and
Well,
then
well,
you
I
can
would say I
straighten.
would say it depends. It depends on your trauma, but I understand what you're trying to
Yeah,
say there.
you
Yeah,
know
it
what I
depends
mean?
on your trauma. For me, and you know, it's so funny, right? But because I've been so honest with therapy and mental health, right? Life ain't easy. And we fool ourselves that we got it covered. And I was a man for many, 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 many years. Thought I had it covered. I got it covered, man. That ain't an issue nor name. But you know what? In the last 10 years, it started to snowball into things. And in the last 4 years, a lot of things happened to put me in a space where I had to be honest and tell myself, as much as I don't want to go on medication, as much as I don't want to do therapy, I have to do it. And you know what happened? Because I've been open and honest with my friends, male friends, female friends, the whole gamut of people, people legit come to me and ask my advice on therapy. And people have come to me and have sought me out for what therapy is like, or to give my advice on how to deal with things, or work through things, how I deal with things, right? And I want people to know, no, right? Everybody got problems. There ain't nobody in the Western world that ain't got problems. Man problems, woman problems, children problems, work problems, financial problems, self issues, body issues. Everybody has problems. And yes, sometimes you wish you could be strong enough to deal with it on your own. But the truth is, there is nothing wrong in the same way we can get the doctor twice a year or once a year to check up. Women is going to get the breast feel to see if they got um, lymphoma, or what we call it, breast cancer. And men is going to see if they got prostate or whatever. Every year, we just going to get the checkups, blood tests, cholesterol tests. We just going to get a check. There is nothing wrong for doing it with your mind. It does not make you a weak person, because if you bottle it up and try to do it and try to deal with it and try to work with it and try to fix it out yourself, when your mind breaks down, your body cannot follow.
Well, since you took us there, Neil, um, because we're talking hypergamy, right? Seeking out that the better version, right? I know somebody that will call it monkey branching from one relationship to the next, right? You kind of get a good grip on the one in front first, and then you let go and swing over,
Amen.
right? Right. But when you go through every relationship with some kind of trauma and stuff like that, when that ends, right? It's just varying degrees in the severity of the trauma. So let's say we call it a cut, and you don't want to go through the therapy or whatever necessary to deal with that. And then you come to the next relationship now, and that's still an open wound. You're still bleeding out. And now you come
Oh,
in to bleed on the next person who didn't have anything to do with that, and you just washing them away because you figured, as you said, I got it covered on my own, and you don't go to put things in place to deal with whatever it is you're going through, and you just kind of bleeding on the next person. So, and here's the challenge with that, because even though we're talking hypergamy and people think hypergamy within generally within financial terms, but what about emotional terms?
Sure.
You come to me and with all your hurts, pains, traumas, everything, and you expect that I am going to just put up with it, let you bleed on me for stuff that I didn't do, for injuries that I did not cause, and you just bleeding on me. Are we
Brother
supposed to
man.
be cool? At some point, I have to say, you know what? I like you more than I like myself more than I like you.
Myself.
So I have to move off from this
Brother
onto
man.
something that is better for me. And
Brother man.
it's critical that people understand that sometimes men shut off and say, you know what, nah, I can deal with this here. And the challenge we have as men is that we don't always say, look, punto final,
We
right?
don't, yo.
We don't, because we
Ever
still
you
want
the amount of
access.
time,
We still want access to sex. So we don't say, look, I done with this here, point blank, done,
brother man,
right?
and even access to sex. It's not even access to sex.
And
You
sometimes
know,
we don't want to hurt people's feelings
listen,
too.
listen. I legitimately thought about all the time. Like in my entire life, I've thought about all the women I have approached and all the women that I have broken up with. You know, I've never approached a woman, nor have I ever broken up with a woman. I never tell a woman,
We
yo,
done.
babe.
And that's that.
I never,
I've
ever,
never done it
ever,
either.
ever,
I've
ever, ever,
never
ever,
done
ever
it
told
either.
a woman how we done. A woman is telling me, I done with this here, I done with you, F you, this, that. I have never, I may tell you, look, I done, I need a minute. I done, I need to cool down. I never say I done. And you know, you are so correct in saying, right? I don't know if I want to get that vulnerable yet with one in this chat, right? But I will just say when you speak about a relationship and recovering from a significant relationship, it is important to seek therapy from it. It is important for you, if you can, speak with your partner or your ex-partner and talk about what went wrong. If you can't get that, you have to seek therapy. And don't think that the therapy can take a 1 month or 2 weeks or something like that. Depending on what that person meant to you, it may
Mm-hmm.
take years. I am telling you all, not because I got a mouth, but because I live in it. Good? You have to, you see, we've got this preconceived notion in our minds, right? Like you fall in love, right? And we know the rom-coms, we know the happily ever afters, we know the get down for one knee, the band playing and the people crying, and you get married and you throw rice and you have a child, and all of a sudden the children go on to college, you old and gray again, your pension, you and your partner in a garden rocky. Until one want to catch a heart attack and then all of these what she know about, and we cry when the man was trying to talk to his wife that got Alzheimer's and them in their 80s. Yeah, and they're recounting their love story. But the fact remains is that none of you see the work that goes into a relationship, from the I do or from the I love you to lying down in a bed at 80 and dating together. And when it goes wrong and you have thought you found the one and you thought you found the perfect partner and the person that complements you and completes you and all these buzzwords and things, your person and all this thing that we have gravitated toward,
A hitter, all these
right?
things.
You're hitter, you're ride or die. When you find this person and it goes awry and the person tells you point blank, I done with this, carry your tail, you are left in such a state of what just happened? I got a child with this person, I got marriage with this person, I got mortgage with this person that I was willing to take a bullet for. Like, we got to realize, right? When we when we make certain commitments, I am talking about the situations where there's abuse. I'm not talking about the situations where there is harm to you. I'm talking about these situations where you have committed to your partner. And we got to start honoring those commitments and saying, look, I commit to this person. We are building life together. We have set plans in motion, and we have created certain spaces and energies to foster mortgage, marriage, and children. That when we are in those processes and we are halfway down that process and it starts to go ape shit, we have to look at each other and say, yo, we have lost sight of the plot. What are we doing here? Let us fix it. Instead of saying, I'm done with this. I can't deal with it no more. It's too hard. We can't get back. We can't fall in love again. I fall out to love with you. Da, 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 da. Because it leaves the other person, and I want to make sure that I'm talking to men and women here. It leaves the person in a state of confusion, unsafety, emotionally. It leaves them in a place of you are left broken.
Yep, that is the word. If we go back to the original situation that I outlined for you all at the top of the show, that girl has not recovered fully yet. And I think this is 5 years hence. You know what I mean? He has married, moved on, and everything. She is still in shambles and still trying to pick up the pieces of herself. Because to her mind, they made an investment. They were on the same page. She
To say, and
was
I'm fighting,
right. She was down like four flat tires. She was
entrenched it.
ride or die. So she helping him sort out his money, get everything in order. Make As a matter of fact, she even bought a car for him or helped him get a car, right? Um, and then everything collapsed. He was gone. She out of pocket money, time, effort, right? So uh, now, fellas in the chat, don't get vexed when they say this. But I assume that I'm talking to men that understand the game and how this thing is really work. Ladies, do your vetting properly. Don't look at a man and assume that because he look a certain way and you like how he look, that's how he can act, right? Don't assume that because he's pre-selected because other women like he, for whatever reason, that he got his shit in order and to operate a certain way, right? I am not, let me be clear, I am not blaming this girl for what happened to her. I'm not doing that. But if we come back now to what I had said a little earlier, if she gotta come, get he a car, get he house he sometimes, put money in his hand and pocket, organize his money to make sure that his money operating a certain way. That's too much of a project, ladies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's you flipping a
That is
house.
too much of a project.
You literally flipping. You know, like how you start. Remember back about 20 years ago, there was flipping houses, or 15 years ago, we talked about flipping
Exactly.
houses. You
That is a
flipping
fix.
apart.
That's a fixer upper, right?
Exactly.
And here's the thing: you don't get to keep fixer uppers like that. As you say, is flip it,
You
fix
gotta
it
flip
up,
it, sell it.
sell, and she ain't even make a cent for it. As a matter of fact, she in debt for it. You understand? So if you meet a man, ladies, let me talk to my ladies straight. If you meet a man and you realize you is one way traffic in terms of the giving, you giving, and then it coming back to you.
Emotion, energy,
Yeah,
finances.
cut your losses early. Tell you as you were saying, Neil, thanks for the memories. Get
Thanks for
up
the
good.
mess. Getting good.
Deuces.
Right.
Don't do it. I know we get caught up talking about, oh, I love you. I love you. I can't, nobody don't treat me like he. And then if you point it down good by you, I know some of you women is
Oh
getting
Lord.
caught up, getting feelings.
Ties.
Guess what? You can get a battery operated frame. Yeah, he ain't gonna keep you warm at night, but buy a couple big pillars. You understand? And if he step into you like that, you you can't get he gonna come at you and he gonna pick you up to bring you at you. Cause he ain't gonna care.
Yo,
Nah,
yo,
make sure to let these men step to you and got some kind of standards.
yes, yes.
Yeah, let me check the chat here and see what the ladies saying. I think I missed piece now, so you might
When you get to Tonya, right? Tonya said something that I want to address completely.
come
You
down the
read,
road then,
all
because
right.
I
Uh,
missed the talk.
where we okay. Okay, so we're going with Tonya. For them is key, Derek. Janara wants the best version of the individual is what you want. Yeah. Zoe, mental health is very important for physical health. Correct. Derek, you are speaking truth 100%. Women too. Derek, that's Tonya. Um, Zoe is agreeing with you, preach, Derek. And Natalia, after my divorce, I remember I met this guy, seemed very nice in the beginning, but by the time a month, Ramel is saying, thought the things new. Natalia goes on, sorry, I was saying, I realized every conversation we had, it deteriorated, and I realized every convo would drain my energy. I had to get away from that. Well, I cuss he, and he understood that. All that to say, you, the individual, have to know what you want and are willing to accept. These days aren't days to bring and keep the wrong energy and spirit into your
Amen.
space. No, this is it. Tanya, you said that is why people need to be honest from the beginning. Tanya, my girl, there are people that are honest from the beginning. They talk a big game and they mean it when they say they want the child, the house, the land, the happily ever after. Men, women talk a big game and they're honest because you speak from a space of honesty and vulnerability when you first get together. Shoot, even when things going well, you speak from a place of honesty. I don't want somebody to be honest with me from the beginning only. I want somebody to be honest with me right throughout, in the middle, in the hard times, in the dark times, in the good times, in the bad times. Because you gonna come and tell me, I love you. I can keep you as a serious woman. So therefore, you can't, you know, it's up to you to decide if you're the type of man to leave me or not. But I don't like four flat tires. My mother there say, I want a child. A child is to have your last name. Cause I want all of you to get married, me and you to get married, and everybody got the same last name. I want we to move in together. I want to get married. And then when things get a little dicey and things start to get hard, you know, money influence like what it used to be. Time is hard to get together and put together and stuff like that. I want honesty then too. As a matter of fact, I want honesty more in the hard times than when over the weekend, right? So I just want to state the Senate was born out of a group of friends. Me, there, a couple other guys are a part of a brotherhood where we get together periodically and we talk about things. And we actually call that group, that chat, the Senate. And out of that, Derek and I decided to take this into the public sphere and actually create something around it to have a wider discussion about things because we realized that having those discussions, at times, a lot of men hurting and a lot of people hurting when it comes to relationships. And over the weekend, a friend of mine, my best friend actually, told me that he is in love with the beginning stages of a relationship
Yep.
because he like the talking, the getting to know you, the honesty, the vulnerability, and everything. I tell him, man, that sounds good, right? But see me, I like to see how you are when the shit hit the fan. I want to see where you bout, and if you really done with me, then I ain't got no money. Cause I's a filmmaker. I work for myself. Therefore, money inflowing in my pockets as it once did. I want to know if you're done with me through that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're done with me supporting me in my goals and dreams. Yeah? If you got a promotion and you got to deal with certain things, if you can still make time for me and you. Yeah? I ain't care about the honesty at the beginning. I care about the honesty when we done know each other. And we done in it. And we in the
When they shine
foxhole.
off the ball.
Then they shine off the ball. Because when we in the trenches, right? And the bullets whizzing past me and bombs blowing up. I ain't want to go look back and say, this man got my back or what?
Wonder if you did at all.
Or again, if you freeze up in a ball curler and I gotta worry, I gotta watch my front and my back. I want somebody that in it with me. And to be honest, Tonya, at the beginning, people be honest. I can be there. I ain't leaving you. Trust me when I tell you, just talk big. To the point now when somebody tell me I will never leave you, I just be like, look, no offense, sweetheart, but better people than you tell me that you will never leave. But that
Reject
sounds
back in.
sweet. That sounds That sounds sweet. All to Hugh Grant talking to Julia Roberts in a rom-com.
Yeah.
That's sweet. I would never leave you. I would move a mountain for you. But the truth is, when the shit hit the fan, and the shit ain't gonna hit the fan in an extreme manner, where a man hit a woman, or there's infidelity, or there's embezzling of funds, or anything like that. I ain't talking about that extreme shit. I'm talking about shit like we literally have grown distant because of life. And we have ignored each other and our emotional spaces of vulnerability and support and safety because of life. The children nagging, you got work, you got bills to pay. So that is when I want honesty, Tonya. I want honesty in the beginning. I want honesty. When once the commitment made and we going forward and doing plans, that's when I want honesty. Cause I want to see you both. I don't want to go a child, and then you telling me, yeah, I can't do this no more. I can't do it no more.
All right, we
Nah.
got Tally is saying that's right, Neil, fully broken. John, you're quite correct, Neil. Broken and confused. Zoe, some people moved on physically and still in shambles mentally over an ex. Facts. Derek, in love with love. That is what it's called. Correct. Some people just love that the ooey gooey phase of it without
I hate
recognizing that you gotta
it,
get
but it's blind
past
there.
that.
I don't
Yeah.
want it. I want that there.
Derek
But
talk the
blind.
talk. So he says step the standards. Tanya says, look. Natalia, men, make sure you do your vetting properly too. Sex really easy to get, too easy, and you don't ever know how much demons she's really trying to deal with or from how far back. Soul ties ain't easy. Natalia, girl,
Yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man. Look, she's on
girl,
break.
you preaching,
A
girl.
moment for Natalia.
Look,
Later, later.
as I've gotten older, I've come to realize. I mean, when I was younger, I do my thing, you know. I have my moments. I
We've
have good
all been
time.
there.
We've all
Yeah.
been there, you know what I mean? But as I've
Certainly.
gotten older, as I've become more seasoned, as I like to say, the salt and pepper, um, I've come to realize that sometimes it's got to see things early and just let them pass. I was very good at that in certain areas when I was younger. But immediately after my separation and subsequent divorce, I found that I was very good in assessing women with very dominant personalities, women who felt like they needed to be right, women that won't cuss up men. I was real good at spotting them women up front, and they just leave alone outside the all stuff and let them keep protect that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I was real good at that. But then the part that I was missing, and the part that's harder to see, is the those people that call emotional traumas, right? And
So hard.
as you said, there was those demons that you got a lot to deal with. Because it's real easy for a man, because we are very visual, to see a woman and get caught up in that. And then be like, down the road, oh shoot, well, I know she'd be like that. I saw a comment there that I read. Yes, Dion. I had to skip a couple comments to get to Dion's comment. She said, people are honest. We hear, but we don't really listen. And that is a fact. Because for men,
Woo!
and I guess women too, very often we get caught up in the sex of it all, right?
That's
The,
easy.
se- the
Easiest
sex,
thing.
as Tatari say, the sex easy. The sex easy. It's
It's
sweet.
the easiest
We
thing.
like it. That's the we real good at that startup point. We get to the point where, yeah, and that's the easiest thing for we to do.
Yep.
And then we still trying to work out the other parts. And it doesn't really work like that. Where you kind of fall into a sexual relationship and then work it out on the back end, right? That is almost like a recipe for disaster.
It's very hard.
Because
Very hard. Very
no,
difficult.
and I know ladies, I know they're gonna cast me, but ladies, whether you want to admit it or not, you have a account. I know that body count thing is get women a little upset, right? Triggered, as they would like to say. And ladies, I know that you do not like to take your account too high, right? I have a very good friend who would tell you straight that they got some people that she wasted counts on, and she's very upset about that. To the
I
point
know
where
a
she
man
don't count them,
I know a
right?
man that was sister too.
Yeah. You got some people that you'd be like, cheese on bread. I gonna push my coat in the ear for nothing. Dealing with an idiot like he. You know what I mean? So because you don't want to get your account too high, no, you like cheese on bread. I get idiot this here. I know you're gonna stick out here a little bit longer because they don't want it to look bad. They move on to somebody else.
Oh my god. Oh,
You know what I mean?
oh.
So I
After.
they approach the relationship, even if it is just a sexual relationship. I think we need to do a little bit more vetting at the beginning so that we kind of work out the demons, as Natalia said, because all of these guys,
Yep.
this soul ties, as Natalia call it, you call it soul ties, they call it peer bonding. You still want to connect with somebody on a certain level, and you can't do that. Or women, you cannot do that when you have been knocking from pillar to post, and everybody got PCU. You know what I mean? Tanya said, "Agree, Neil, always honest." Nika, oh, Nika, girl, it's so good to see
Yeah.
you in here, boy.
What's going on,
Jeez,
girl?
on met my night, boy. So many people find this
Yeah.
hard to do. She says, Ramel, when the shine is off the ball, man. Yes, you just had Dion's comment. Renee is here. Hi, Renee. Good to see you, sweetheart. It's true, Nika. Tanya says, I didn't say it only at the beginning, but from the start, yeah. But yes, honestly, all through, a lot of people say what they feel the next person wants to hear. Lord have mercy. Natalia is preaching. Natalia, we're going to get you in here with me tonight. Nika, excellent point. Ramel Neal is in the booth tonight, and this track is a hit. This ninja spitting. They don't say that word.
Relax and take notes.
Yeah. Renee agreed, Dion. Some people have an ego complex. They feel that they are the one that will bring about a change in that person's perspective. He or she will love me so much that he or she will change his mind.
Oh,
Renee
God.
Michelle.
Oh, Red. Oh,
Lord have
okay,
mercy.
Renee.
We need a
Falling
life
in love with
for
potential. No, we need a like form for true.
we need a
What I can
life
try to do.
discussion.
I can see if I can see. So what I have realized is that recently, because of some of the things that we're saying about us being sexist and us being skewed in our opinions and our posts and everything like that, I actually do think that sooner rather than later, I gotta figure out a way to get more diversion points of view onto the show. Because, and I don't mean for the people in this chat right now. These people, you see, y'all that have come out tonight and that are watching and comment contributing, y'all people are willing to have this discussion, hard or soft. If y'all don't agree with us, we are willing to engage and listen to your point of view. If you don't agree with us, you are willing to listen to our point of view. But the dialogue is being is happening, right? What we need to do is create a forum. I believe Skype could do it because that's the primary thing we use, Skype. I can see if Skype could do that. I would just get some Skype info for people, and we will bring them on, and we will have a discussion. Even if I need to moderate and step away from adding my 2 cents during it or something like that, I have no problem with that. But you know what? What this is telling me and what people are saying. I mean, granted, everybody in this this in the comment section or of our age or around that. But yeah, we definitely have to open the forum and we gotta get people. And I want all the people that's getting the posts, when Derek posts, y'all that know them cause they here, run back and tell them, if you gonna post negatively on Derek's post and think that he is sexist and misogynistic and he is skewing an argument and we trying to drive up and drum up views and likes and we doing things clandestine and in a way that is kind of nefarious, run back and tell them, come and watch the podcast. Because you know what? That post is a snippet of what we believe. And it is a starting point for this type of conversation because we are two men that eventually ring them when it comes to relationships and trying to pick up the pieces.
Exactly that. Steve asks, "Do women toss out the lower scores?" And I am. I don't know if Nika has responded to Steve, but she says, "How you mean?" Um, Familiar spirit, Zoidi says. Natalia, Natalia got embarrassed tonight. Natalia says, "My mommy saying no man they need to know if them in the past. 3 is enough for them to know about." My mother said that. So yes, Steve, to answer your question, they do throw out the low scores. They do throw out the low scores. Um, I won't say all women do, but a couple of them do. I know a couple that actually do that. This is a religion. They don't count someone because they're not what they expected. They don't. They throw that out. What a lot of people don't like to acknowledge is that no matter how great a person you believe you are, you're somebody's regret. Whew. Yeah, yeah, that's a fact. There's some people I'm sure have regretted change our maybe or evil, but it is what it is.
I I don't want to. Anyhow,
Yeah, you stay under it. You stay under it. But yeah, hypergamy, folks, is all about trying to achieve that next level. Oh Lord, Nick, a true regret that they lost you or met you. Dion, I never understood why scores mattered. Um, I don't think it's a matter of scores, but they do because Lori Harvey is now married to Michael B. Jordan.
I mean, he married.
Yeah, from what I understand, they're married. Let me do a quick Google and make sure that that's
Is,
actually accurate.
is it? No, you finish your thought. I can Google
Yeah.
it.
All right. Cool. Um, yeah. So Michael B. Jordan, Lori Harvey, they're together in one way or the other. They're together, and there's this guy Boozy. I think that's his name, a rapper, and he put it this way: nobody wants, and he didn't even say a second hand, but nobody wants an eighth hand car, right? So even if it is, and I'm sorry, ladies, I have to use that analogy to compare or to objectify the women, but that's the analogy that was used. Nobody wants an eighth hand car. That car has been. Now it might be a case where it's a high value car. Porsche is a Porsche. You know what I mean? But when you start to talk now in terms of the mileage, you know at a certain mileage it's carrying you problems. Um, Certain things within the engine just ain't gonna work right. You gotta change your parts, all kind of thing. So that is why the count, as you say, scores matter. Um, it wouldn't matter to females because, um, interestingly enough, it seems as if the more people a man has been with, that makes him even more attractive to women. Apparently, for some strange because it says to women that you are attractive on some level. You are, yeah, attractive on some level. Women want you. Men don't quite look at it that way. Men look at it as like, yeah, boy, she went right block. So we don't deal with it that way. But weeks ago, as you get older, as my man Chris Rock said, you're putting a flag no way. Let me show. We
Yeah,
pushing we pushing 40.
we
We ain't,
age.
we ain't
We
discovering nothing.
discovered.
You
Yeah,
know, you come and don't say
we have
claim
not
this land
discovered
in
anything.
America.
We
Yeah.
have done. We have not
And
discovered anything new in decades.
yeah, and the way we are so desensitized to sex now, and it's so prevalent, so out there, um, our sexual habits have changed so drastically that should we be in the age of Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion at the Grammys,
You what, man?
and we promote her what, you know what I mean? So we are now at that point where meeting a 20-year-old virgin is as close to impossible as you can get right now within the society in which we live. You know what I mean? So you ain't discovering nothing. You're putting on flag no way. Just be glad that, as my man Chris Rock said, be glad as you turn, that you there.
You understand? Made the
You
most of
know,
it.
make the most of it, enjoy yourself. And as when it done, the woman decide that she done with you or you decide you done with the woman, as you said, thanks for the memories.
For
Get
the
up
memory.
good.
Yep,
You
get
know?
in good.
Let me see what the lady say. Uh, I never saw scores matter. Tanya says Dion, I have never been asked. They aren't. Nika says me either, to be honest, never knew it was a thing. I don't get it. Okay. Dion says, I've been asked once, and the ironic part is that he had plenty of partners, but he had the mindset that Derek is trying to put forward with his analogy. Yeah, it's different. It's different for men. And we've heard it all before. The guy that has many partners is um, the king of the ranch, essentially, and the girl that has many partners, she's a whore. You know, that's
Big
just
double.
that's just the double standard of life, right?
Yeah.
Tanya, I keep telling you that Derek, that Zoe Edie to some females, Derek. Some, yes, it does matter. No, no, that don't make him more attractive to me. It's really up there focusing on all the wrong things.
I agree with
Confused.
that, you know.
Tanya confused, but it's also Dion. Okay, respectfully, ladies, all of you are very much in a different bracket. You're very much in a different bracket,
Yeah.
socioeconomically and age wise. So
I
it's
have been listen, I have been asked
this
as
thing.
a
This
matter of
this
fact, as a matter
it
of fact,
comes
I have
up.
not even been asked. I've been told that I look like a man that do a lot of things.
Yeah,
I
get
have
onto
been
it. No, no
wrongfully
way. I
judged.
mean,
Yeah.
so innocent, but
You tall and sexy with that eyes, I know you run
yeah.
through the park.
Apparently, I'm a player and all kind of thing. I was actually accused of being a player from when I was at school. I see a lot of QC people in this chat, and the QC people in this chat could verify that I was the furthest thing from a player
Right.
at school. Like, I had one girlfriend my whole school
One
life, but
girl. There
you know,
had one girl. There had go one girl for about from about
all my
second
school
floor.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Sorry about that, Tony. Age wise, yeah. Let's embrace what it is. We are there now. Maybe if so a younger person in the chat could, kind of shed a little light on it. But it does happen. It does happen even at our age. People ask your count. Steve, I once heard an old man say men are lauded for having multiple partners, but women are supposed to be pure. So who these men sleeping with?
Yo,
Facts.
in
Which is why
2020,
we brought it back. It makes no sense really paying too much attention to the count.
in
You, you may go
2021,
sleep with
in
somebody.
2020, I know a few weeks ago, our boy Ramel was talking about a young lady that has 60 partners. Now, when you get into them numbers, I started to wonder about your ability to stay committed and faithful. And I worried about whatever trauma that you're dealing with and shoot, sexual transmitted diseases. Um, but generally, I am of the school of thought that, as you've said, Derek, at this age, I ain't no discovering Plymouth Rock. I ain't discovering Narnia. This like
Yeah.
I come in and finding people. Therefore, to me, I, I don't know. Like I have
That's an
found out.
interesting point, Neil. That's a very interesting point, and I'll tell you, and I'll to kind of come back to Dion. Um, when you say you ain't discovering, and you come in and you finding people,
Yep.
that is it. We expect that we gonna find people, but who? Which kind of people are we going to find? That I
Yeah.
think is what is more concerning to men, because if you're telling me, um, okay, let me flip it. If you come and ask me, ladies, yeah, will your body count like, or are you say you want to get more specific, as some people will say, you want to get more specific? Are you asking me directly who saw you was dealing with? And you hear me call, like, I coming down this list, and then you hear me drop muscle cat in there. Now, are you sure that somewhere down the line you're gonna be like,
Yo,
huh?
that
And
that's
immediately,
a furious handbrake
yeah,
and not the other way.
immediately you are
And
going to
not the
look
other
at
way.
me in a very different light. You know what I mean? You're gonna be like, what? I didn't know he's getting on like that. And then that could be a potential reason for you to disqualify me from being in a relationship with
Again, it comes down to safety and security. Am I getting together with someone that is going to be faithful to me? Am I getting together with someone that's going to be committed to me? Am I getting together with someone that when we have an argument, going to go and sleep with somebody else?
you. Yeah, because it's
Because
all about persons. People have certain proclivities, right? And if it's a case where you look at me and based on my history, you realize this man never had a relationship that's more than 2 months, and really and truly, this man body come all up in 60 and 70. He's a wild man, you know. And immediately you start to tell yourself, or should, you know what, the potential for a long-term relationship with this man is very, very low. So yeah, that's why the count kind of matters. But I think the count doesn't matter as much as who is in the count.
I want to touch on something here. Renee Michelle, she's asking, I'm so perplexed. Have you been ever asked names, to give names?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you
Because
know,
what
it's the
happens, Renee, is that people will know bits and pieces of your history from seeing you out or whatever.
It is Barbados. Barbados
And
small.
right, but it's only 166 square miles. So people will kind of say, all right, he had this body and he had that body, and he had this
Like,
body and that body, and then they come up put together a complete puzzle based on the limited information they have. So that's
Renee,
like people ask names.
Renee, Renee, I want to point out, right, that there are women to this day that would not even look at me in a romantic setting because of somebody I dated 20 years ago. And I shit you not. I had a friend of mine, a mutual male friend of mine, of me and this girl. The girl said, Neil is a good looking fella, you know, and he intelligent and he seemed to be about his business, right? But if he didn't have X back in the day, I would give you a holler. I have been told that, or I have heard that through the grapevine.
It
So,
happens. It happens. So yeah, the count happens, and the let me just check back in this chat a little bit. Um, Nika saying making us sound old. We are what we are, Nika.
man,
Steve is saying, but asking for someone's count and you can't get a true response. Can you deal with that information going forward? Dion says most men can't. To you know, y'all that watch me know I love my Chris Rock. Chris Rock, I tell you straight, it matters not the number you get as a man, you know. Anything more than one, a man gonna be like, nah, Dre, two. I guess that's how he was raised, you know what I mean? So he says, all right then. Tanya is dying. I'm officially dead. Bury me. Dion is laughing. I am so perplexed if they have to give names here. Natalia says, I come back to it. As I hear Masa Cat, I looking at you sideways, and that's a fact.
that's on
Right?
fact.
Yeah, Tanya very concerning right here. Dion is in the twilight zone. Zoe says the count is real, guys. Indeed, it is.
Watch it. I can even bring this up to some people, right? Those that are commenting in this chat, y'all would not say that we are close. Y'all are not saying we are not people that I would have shared my dating history with or anything like that. But I am sure you know of one or a few people that I have dated before. And I don't mean the mother of my son. I'm talking about going back. People in Barbados know, people in Barbados ask
Yeah.
questions. You know
And
what is
based on
funny?
limited information, they put together their own thing.
And from what I have found, men may ask the number, but women does ask who, from my experience.
Yep, yep. Because
So
it's so important that way. And all of this, folks, believe it or not, ties back into hypergamy. Because if you're saying to me, right, if you're saying to me that if I approach a woman and I realize she dating predominantly, if we say Barbados or West Indies cricketers,
she,
I like, okay, I can see, pardon the pun, I can see the line you bowling. You know what I mean? I know how you getting down. And immediately I kind of tell myself, but you know what? I guess I don't really qualify. You know what I mean? By the same token, ladies, if you approach a fella, and as I mean, we had the muscle cat reference earlier,
yeah.
you realize, okay, I see how this going. This ain't the fella for me. Or you realize you he dated somebody before, but all of his relationships were 2 years here, or 6 months here, 3 months there, and his one significant relationship was when he was a homosexual for a white woman in Germany, and you was like, you know what? Okay, I see how you getting down, right? So it is you kind of pick up information based on what you see with the count, and that kind of informs, rightly or wrongly, the decisions you're going to make about that person.
Now, based on what I'm seeing in the chat, right? Like I see in Jackie, Tonya, Dion, they're saying, first things first, they say they don't know of anybody that have dated. And I bless your hearts, thank you very much. But y'all would not believe from my experience how many people literally do not want to date me because one or two people that I have dated. Not bad people, not people that got STDs or rob people or beat people or curse people,
You went
literally
up,
just
Master
because.
Cat Neil.
Nah, nah.
You
I
sure? You
mean,
sure,
I
Master?
mean, no,
You
no,
sure?
not El Gato Musculo. Not, not like, not El Gato Musculo. Nah. But no, I'm serious, right? The point is, and I guess from what I am seeing here from this sample size, it is reassuring because from my experience, people have legit questioned people I've dated before. I've had some well-known people in Barbados, and you can obviously know people I dated because uh, our circles are more, yeah, our social circles are a bit more intertwined than some of the other people. Well, bless your heart, Zoe, that you never heard about me. Not saying I'm a bad person, but bless your heart. No, no, seriously, people, like legitimately, I've been told, yeah, this girling, it don't make no sense looking at this girl or engaging this girl in conversation because you have dated XYZ or ABC. As a matter of fact, earlier this week, a friend of mine made a comment that I should approach, a young lady. And I was like, yeah, nope, because so what
Yeah.
happened, and their friend that, and not that anything bad happened. I just want to make sure it's not that anything bad happened, but Barbados is a small place. I guess I'm grateful that nobody in this chat knows my business.
Amen and amen.
but, but a lot of people know my business, and it is unfortunate to me. Yeah. Um, Anyhow, what's funny? We said we were going to go to hour and a half, but clearly we at an hour and 47 minutes. I don't know if you want to go to 2 hours or if you want to cut it short here.
No, we could cut short here. I think we kind
Yeah.
of covered everything. And
So people, if you take nothing else from this podcast, I want you all to be a little more discerning with what you want in a relationship. And I want when y'all commit to that, and y'all decide that y'all going forward with your partner, have that conversation and look them dead in their eye and say, let me tell you something, right? I ain't in it for the long haul. The day, ask that question a year from now, 6 months from now, whatever time you need. The second thing is, there are some people out there that think that Derek and I doing this because we are trying to be sexist and we're trying to put our new world man order on the world and get women back in the kitchen and have them barefoot and pregnant and women supposed to be management or CEOs. And if you see a post from Derek and you believe it is incendiary and triggering, that is fine. But do not continue every Monday or every Wednesday or Thursday saying that Derek is sexist or this is running people or this and that and not coming to the podcast. You see, today, and again, somebody within the comment section of Derek's post made mention of how they saw it. And we had a back and forth, and I understood where the person was coming from and how they saw it. And you know what? That person is here, and that person is a faithful of the Senate. I have no problem with that because
none.
you know the man, and you coming out to hear the man, and you've listened to the content. Because I don't know anybody that would have listened to one episode of our podcast that would say that we are sexist and we trying to put women back where they were 70 years ago.
Barefoot, I'm
You know,
pregnant.
barefoot and pregnant. We're coming out the kitchen for. You should be in there cooking. You understand? The point is I want you all to tell your friends, women, men, whoever, we are looking to stop this divide because we are two men that are out there in the dating circles dealing with women dealing with all of this muck, and there are games being played. There are hoops you gotta jump through, and they got power struggles that happening. And we as men are tired.
And a lot of manipulation, by the way.
Tired, amen. We are tired. It ain't, we don't want you to lead. We don't think we should lead. However, we want the discussion to understand who the hell leading.
Yeah.
Straight. Sex is important to me. Emotional stability is important to you. Finances is important to you. Peace of mind is important to me. Emotional vulnerability important to me. I done trying to jump through hoops to figure out we wanna. We either having this conversation or we're gonna stop bitter and stay in the comment section of these posts, men and women. That way got about that. Um, People laughing, great discussion. Thanks, Nikki Nix. Tanya in the word order, Mala. Yeah, Dion, I gotta commend you today because I genuinely did not understand what was triggering about the post, and you helped me to understand it. And Derek and I had a conversation, and that is how it should be. Not taking, we don't want you coming and saying, "Oh, I'm a sexist. The fuck question is this and that." No, 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 no. See how you approach me? The about to tell your friends to men and women. That's how we want to be approached. You coming in the comments cursing me, we're cursing me for. And they're looking to just hit a hornet's nest. Anyhow, they're going on. They're rambling. I had the wine. I feeling sweet. I get to take a bath. And watching YouTube. Anyhow, my brother, this has been a very good show. I'm glad for everybody that has come out. I'm glad for all the content.
As am I.
I am glad.
I have to say, Neil, before we wrap, I too am grateful for the contributions, not only here tonight, but earlier today in the comment section as well. I want to echo your sentiments. Don't just come for me based on the posts you see. The posts, yes, some of them are incendiary, and I realize people hold on to the two from this week. I did make gender neutral posts prior to that. People still come for me. So I have accepted that people can come for me. I have accepted that, and I'm cool with that. Come if you must. But I want you to come here so that we can really talk it out. Because we ain't dealing with the sign language, the shame, insults, guilt, need to be right. We ain't dealing with that. Because you come here, we talk, we read your comments, we respond to your comments.
And I want to point out they're on the screen.
And they're on the screen.
Because I made sure that there's transparency. I don't want to say that we're reading and not reading and not hiding things or whatever. The only thing I'm trying to figure out is when y'all reply to things, they're not coming out in the chat. So I got to figure that out. But once y'all make a comment, it shows up on this screen.
Yeah. So we are trying to drive and Dion is saying she didn't think that it would be the post would have driven the conversation that we wanted, and that's fine. I appreciate that. But what we want to do exactly, Tonya, we want to see more people coming out to the podcast. Don't sit in your corner, cuss me, or rather cuss the post. I don't care if you cuss me, because shoot, that don't bother me. But sit in your corner as you need to stop being bitter and miserable and quarreling and not coming to have a discussion, because I'm sure some of the ladies here have been able to get a greater understanding and appreciation for the men's side of these discussions. Because, and I tell you, I watch it every week. When the women start, the men go mute. The men go mute. So it allows the guys the opportunity to type their comments. It could be a textrovert here, we don't mind. You type your comments, we will read them, we respond to them, we don't ignore them. Unless it's just a case where you're agreeing with somebody. But here, we can talk the things, right? But we are going to talk them from these two men. We can only talk as men, right? We can only talk as men. But we have the ladies in here. They are providing the balance within this discussion. Do not stop on Facebook quarreling and miserable and intending to stay hurt and angry. That does not serve any purpose. You're not going to get the results you want because guess what? Men are not intimidated by women who have these obnoxious, bombastic, boorish attitudes. They aren't. They just stay away from them. They just do. So, cuss all you like. But the next is be cold. This windy season, this kite season. So when the cold wind coming through your window and you only got one pillow and nobody next to you, ask yourself, boy.
And you begging for a quarantine bay.
Yeah,
and you
it's
when the night
lockdown.
cold, you wanna being single is hard. You
Yeah.
know, and for
And then
everybody.
you come on Instagram or Facebook and post all kind of memes and things.
But then you get in the comment section of direct posts
And
saying
quarrel
that
with me.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
quarrel with me. Come and have a discussion. Come
That's
and
his
see.
talk.
Let me talk. As Tanya said, it fear in here. We just talk. Yeah. My man Steve told me so earlier this week. IG and TikTok has been proven to help keep people warm. It's kite season the way high, not
Man, hi, boy.
just say
Yeah,
it's kite season.
it's
So when you
season.
been coming through in the cold, and you gotta get enough sheets, gonna end up body heat. You understand? And at the end of the day, let us be real. Let us be real. At the end of the day, everybody wants some kind of companionship.
Say that again, Derek. Say that again.
Everybody wants some kind
Hold
of
on. Before you say
companionship.
it again, I want one of that listening carry back and tell one of the friends. Don't mind all of that is a queen, is a diva, and I sing it and loving it. Tell them, Derek. Men and women.
Everybody wants companionship. I ain't saying you gotta get married, because you got my own feelings for that. If you feel it, maybe some people feel it antiquated or whatever, you know. I ain't saying you got bong and get married, right? But companionship. No man is an island, as my man Chocolate was saying.
No man is an
No man
island.
is an island.
No man is an
So
island.
do not believe that all this talk about I need the man.
I
That
got my
sound real good till it's your birthday and you realize you gotta gather up the girls and go out till it's Valentine's Day and the girls got them men at home.
and Christmas and the Hallmark
And
movies.
Christmas come around and you open the gift is by yourself. It's New Year's night and the
uh,
girlfriend's going out with the man and you down at Hilton, stand at East Side with a half empty bottle of wine, talking about Happy New Year.
New Year, new me.
New Year, new you. Nah, people, let me get real. Let me try and make the thing stop and vex. Come, have the discussions, and let me see if we can go forward. I know I can sign off here, Neil. Strive to be the best version of you for you. That's my piece on it tonight.
I can't add anything to that. Good night, everybody. See you all on Monday, and thanks for the engagement. I love you all. All right, Derek. Later.
Deuces.
I was wrong.